everyone, Bear from Bear Reads Books in the library. This is my first Friday reads in the brand new library. There's no floor coverings yet, so I'm not about to show you a bare concrete floor, and it's very untidy. But books are on the shelves, couches, lovely nice leather couches to sit in. It's a reading room. It's amazing. Welcome to Friday. So lots to update you on this week. I did mention last week that I was starting a uni course, and that went well. First week went awesomely. It was really interesting classes, great people, great lecturers, very, very happy. But it does mean I've realised I'm going to be very busy. Not busy enough, not too busy to talk to you. So, reading. Finished this week is a whole bunch of books, and when I sat down this afternoon I thought, it hasn't been a really big week. I've been busy doing other stuff, and then I started picking up all the books that I'd either finished or I'm currently reading or I'm almost finished, and it's a big list. So here we go. So this week I finished. Now remember, I'm judging the BookTube Prize, so I'll tell you the ones that BookTube Prize consideration reads, and I can't tell you anything about them. So whether I'm reading them now or whether I've just finished them, I can't give you any clue as to how I felt about it. And believe me, that is really difficult for me. So, first up, and I think I finished it just after my Friday reads last week, was Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Finished. And that was number 3, I think. 3 of 6 for the BookTube Prize. Then I also, let's do BookTube Prize only first. Then I also read this week Ghost Wall. It's only a little fellow. I think I'd started it last week when I talked to you. It's only a little thing. Finished. So that is 4 of 6. And then also this week for the BookTube Prize, I did a lot of driving, going to university in the car. I had 3 trips to Brisbane, an hour and a half each way, or 2 hours each way, 3 times. So I ended up listening to The Dutch House by Anne Patchett, and that's also a BookTube Prize read, so I can't tell you anything about that. So I finished that this week as well. So there's 3 books. There's 3 books finished, all BookTube Prize contenders that I have to judge. I can't say anything about. So that's a pretty uninteresting Friday reads. Luckily, there's plenty more where that came from. So let me just hold these books up. The others, there's lots of ebooks, but of the 3 that I have in my possession, I have Ghost Wall. That's what that looks like, Sarah Moss. I had a copy of Gods of Jade and Shadow last week, but it was a library book, so it's gone back. I think I showed you the cover of that. Women Talking by Mariam Toves, and I read that last year, so I removed all of the review information off that, so you can't see how I felt about it. And the only one I've got left out of the 6, and I've got a whole month to read it, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break from BookTube Prize reading for just a little bit, and I've got this one. Interesting. I've got this one left, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Know nothing about it, but I am going to have a break. I'm not going to pick up Kylie Reid's Such a Fun Age just yet, because I have other things to update you on. I've got other things I really want to cover off and read in the next couple of weeks. Also finished this week was the audio book Before Tackling the Dutch House. I think I mentioned last week I was almost finished the previous audio book. In fact, I went for a big hike last weekend just after talking to you on Friday. Huge hike where I finished listening to The Lost Children Archive by Valeria Lucelli. And it was incredible. It might have had something to do with the narration, but really it was a superb 5-star read. I need to do a full video on this one. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, it was just amazing. It's it's complex, but it's complex, and the vocabulary is incredibly large. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And as an audiobook, I just kind of sank into it and let it happen, and it was quite amazing. So I'm going to do a full review for that over the next couple of days. That was Lost Children Archive, Valeria Lucelli, 5-star. Finished this week. The other things that I'm currently reading, I've just started to replace The Dutch House, which I've just finished on audiobook. The Dutch House, read by Tom Hanks, by the way. So when I do my review and my voting for consideration for the prize, I need to forget completely that The Dutch House was narrated by Tom Hanks and come up with a completely impartial review of that, because we all know how nicely Tom Hanks speaks. So finish that, and then the next audiobook I've picked up is The Far Field by Madhuri Vijay, about a young woman in India travelling north to find a man she met in her childhood after her mother has died. It seems okay at the moment. Oh, I'm just going to back up. The Dutch House, I'm allowed to say what it was about if you've never heard of it. Anne Patchett, The Dutch House. It's a family drama about a brother and sister who live in this amazingly big house called the Dutch House that their father bought as a surprise for their mother. The mother then just promptly disappeared, never to be heard from again, and the father remarries. So it's this drawn out family history drama. And again, not usually the thing that I would read, but I had for BookTube prize and a review to come. So, The Farfield, Vajri and the VJ. Other things I'm reading right now, and I'll probably end up finishing this weekend, is my first ever Agatha Christie. Now, when I said this at the beginning of the year that I'd never read Agatha Christie, I think I did the year tag, and I did 1972, year of the book or book of the year tag. And 1972, I said I'd never read Agatha Christie, and there was a few Agatha Christies on that list. And then people gave me lots of recommendations. They said, if you've never read Agatha Christie before, read this one. So I found it at the library. It's called The Secret Adversary, or Adversary. It's called The Secret Adversary, and it is a Tommy and Tuppence mystery, and it is the first and maybe the only Tommy and Tuppence mystery. It's great. It's so light-hearted, and Tommy and Tuppence are these two characters that just play off each other with one-liners and quips, and it's really entertaining. I've never read Agatha Christie. I just thought they were boring as dust, throwaway mystery novels. They are so much more than that. I'm so glad that I picked this up. The other one that was recommended to me was And Then There Was None, I think, and Then There Was None, which is a standalone Agatha Christie, so not a Poirot, not a Marple, but a standalone. And again, I'm going to read that in the next little bit as well. I've got that ready on my shelves. And the other thing I'm reading right now is The Portable Paradise by Roger Robinson, which won the T.S. Eliot Prize this year, the 2019 T.S. Eliot Prize for Poetry, which is the premier poetry prize in the United Kingdom. And it's not part of my 25 Gateway Poets list, but I felt confident enough after reading 3 or 4 poets from that list that I could proudly pick up the T.S. Eliot Prize winner from 2019, having never read them before, and it is amazing. When I finish this, I will be absolutely doing a review about Roger Robinson's The Portable Paradise. These are all really hard words for a Friday night, guys. Okay. I will absolutely be doing a review about Roger Robinson's A Portable Paradise. It's amazing. It speaks about the black experience in the UK, and I know we spoke a lot about that when we read Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, but obviously in poetry talks about recent events like the Grenfell Tower fire, about the Windrush scandal, which was the deportation of a whole bunch of UK citizens, and so many other poems that touch on the problems that are part of the black British experience at the moment, and just quite amazingly touching and full of emotion. Loving it, and I'll give a full review when I'm done, which will be sometime this weekend. So that's all I'm reading right now, apart from the two that I had set aside so long ago I can barely remember them. I was reading Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, and I'm going to continue reading that. I'm not letting that go. I was really enjoying it, even considering the subject matter. I think I've said that before. But the other one that was on my list, I started reading, I set it down because there was just so many other things going on, is what's her name? Lucy Ellmann's Ducks Newburyport. This has been on my reading list, my currently reading list since the first week of January, and I'm going to DNF it. Last year I DNF'd one book. This year it's the end of February and I'm about to DNF a book. I'm really not proud of myself. And it's this one that everyone and I've been talking about for so long. I think I'll come back to it. I don't think this is a DNF forever. I got about 100 or so pages, a little bit more, a little bit less, I'm not sure. 100 or so pages through, and I was in the rhythm of it. I was enjoying it, but there was just so many other things that I wanted to read, and this just felt like a yoke around my neck. if you know what I mean, you could see it sitting on your table or on your bookshelf, and you just felt bad every time you went past it because it's so big, and I really felt like I needed to read this, I wanted to read this, but it just feels like a yoke around my neck and a step too far right now. So I'm going to DNF it. It's coming off my currently reading list. It's going back on my TBR list. So it's not coming off my list altogether. With no review, no star rating. But I'm just taking it off my list just to make me feel better because it really was making me feel terrible that I wasn't picking it up. So maybe in the coming months I might pick it up again. So that's it. That's a massive week. And when I sat down this afternoon I thought, I haven't read much, but I really have. It's been a super reading week. I hope your reading week has been as fulfilled, as filled full of books as mine has. I haven't bought any books, I don't think. Oh, maybe I did. Wait. I haven't bought any books, Brett says, and then runs away and comes back with 5 books. Yeah, I did buy a couple of books, thanks very much. My lecturer recommended, my very first lecturer, that you should read Stephen King on writing, so okay, I bought that. Someone did a review of this, and I remember the review, they didn't really like it, so I bought it. Stoner by John Williams. Stoner, does anyone recall this? Another Australian one, I think, Evie Wild, the Bass Rock. Evie Wild, the Bass Rock. This one is on the BookTube prize list, Disappearing Earth by Julia Phillips. I'm not reading it as part of my judging, but it is on the list, the long list. And Aren't You Braised Pork. I'll tell you all about them. If you've never heard of them before, I'll tell you all about them as they come up for reading. I'm hoping that's very soon. But no, I didn't buy anything this week. Oh wait, here's 5 books. Welcome to my life. Enjoy your weekend, everyone, wherever you may be. I hope you have a wonderful reading weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.